Molly, hey Molly, it's good to have you on the call. You're part of St Basil's. You're not in Devon at the moment. Where are you as we speak today?
I'm in Romania, which is where International Justice Mission, who I work for, been working on the border with Ukraine to support refugees who are crossing over and help stop trafficking risks.
Okay, so IJM, they're particularly working around anti-trafficking. What are you seeing on the ground, hearing on the ground? You had a team there, obviously already. You've got like a long-standing bit of work going on in Romania. What are you hearing on the ground, or what are you hearing from them on the ground?
Yeah, so IJM has been working on cross-border trafficking in Romania for 2 years, and so we're really well placed to act really quickly when the Ukraine conflict first started, because we were aware that as soon as you have large numbers of people crossing a border with very little, that they will be vulnerable to exploitation, and particularly when a lot of those people are women and children. So IJM's team mobilized really fast and started working to raise awareness of the risks of trafficking on the border, working together with Romanian authorities to put flyers about risks of trafficking into passports, and to do awareness campaigns with local shelters who are hosting refugees, other NGOs, churches, to make sure that people are aware of the risks and what kind of signs they should be looking out for. And then I think what's been interesting is seeing how things are changing. It's just a situation that's constantly evolving. So at the start, we were seeing hundreds of people coming through on foot who've been walking for miles, often in snow and rain, coming through at the border, women and children, and just not much control of the situation in terms of how people had access to refugees coming through. So then, if you've been walking for ages and you're just offered a lift, you're quite likely to take it. And so we were starting working with other organizations in the local area to make sure that there are the safe transportation between the border and the nearest shelters. And then the good news is Romanian authorities have acted quite fast to create safe zones. So those risks have reduced a bit, but new ones are emerging. So what we're seeing now is that lots of people who first came through were the people who were a bit wealthier, had more resources, and often new people in other places in Europe who they could go and stay with. And now we're seeing people coming through who have less resources and often don't have anyone who they know. And so they're just coming across the border with absolutely no idea of what to do next, nowhere to go, no one to welcome them who they know. And that creates a whole new world of vulnerability. And so our teams have been working to try and stop people from being vulnerable, helping them become aware of risks, but also supporting them with things like legal advice and basic stuff like SIM cards to help people stay in touch with their families, to help them stay in touch with NGOs that are helping them to make it safely to their final destination. So yeah, it's just a constantly evolving situation that IJM and lots of other great organizations are pivoting fast to meet day to day.
And what in the middle of all that, what can we do to support what IJM are doing? So it sounds amazing and critical at this time. What is the stuff that we can do to back you guys, support you guys in what you're doing?
Yeah, so IJM is running an appeal at the moment, a Ukraine crisis appeal, which will help fund what we're doing right now, but also help to mitigate against some of the risks going forwards. So some of the longer term issues that are likely to happen are as people run out of resources, particularly people who were on low incomes in the first place, like their money just basically runs out, they'll be really open to exploitation from people who are offering them what looks like a good job. It's a classic way of recruiting people into trafficking situations. So yeah, if St Basil's are up for helping IJM to stop that from happening, we would really love that. And you can go to ijmuk.org and you will see how to do that there. We'd also love people to be praying with us that this exploitation won't happen, and that people will be safe and find safe places to live and stay. And I think just to end on a note of encouragement, one of the things our team's been saying, they've been working all hours, it's just that like every minute, every hour is totally worth it to be able to connect people with the like right opportunities, the right charities, to keep them safe. And what they've seen is just this massive outpouring of kindness from like local people and all around the world. So in the midst of so much pain and suffering, just one quick story, like one of our team just helped throw a birthday party for an 8-year-old boy who was in a shelter, and like got him an 8 balloon and cake and stuff. And his mum just said, you know, texted her after saying, like, in the midst of so much suffering and so many people that you're seeing, the fact that you like noticed us means so much. You know, it's just in the middle of, like, she was like, I basically wish the situation wasn't happening and you didn't have to do that, but the fact you have made a huge difference. And we're seeing people here in Romania just being so incredibly welcoming, kind. And so anything anyone in St Basil wants to do to help make people who are experiencing something absolutely horrendous to be safe and welcome and know that they are loved would be amazing.
Molly, thank you for explaining, taking time out of the schedule out there as well to do it. But we'll definitely be raising awareness of all the amazing work IJM are doing and others are doing in the area. But we'll be praying for you, your team, everyone involved, and yeah, we'll be looking to sort of raise some money as well. So thank you for taking the time to explain all that's going on. We're really grateful.
Fantastic.
Here's my